Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, this is our lecture number 6 in the series of leadership theories, and our today's topic is participative leadership style. I'm Dr. Ayaz Muhammad Khan, Director, Division of Education, University of Education, Lahore. In our lecture number 6, we will be covering participative leadership style, uh, where we would get over Levin's leadership style and Likkert's leadership style. If you ask me what is the crux of this leadership style, as in great man theory, leaders are born, not created, and then the other one, that there are certain traits like self confidence, uh, due to which a leader can be uh, seen. And then we went through some of the theories like participative, that now believe that people are less competitive when working for joint goals. So, student, you would be thinking, who are the major proponent of this participative leadership style? As a matter of fact, there are two people who worked a lot in this domain. One was Kurt Levin's leadership styles, and the second one was Francis Likkert's leadership style. Let's go through one by one. So, what do we mean by participative or participatory leadership style? This is a style where managers and leaders place a great deal of trust and have confidence in their workforce and employees. They would frequently seek the views and opinions of their subordinates but ultimately retain decisions. Participative leadership style is a combination of actually democratic and laissez-faire leadership style. So let's see, what is democratic leadership style. It is also known as participative leadership or shared leadership. And this is the type of leadership style in which members of the group take a more participative role in the decision making process. This type of leadership can apply to any organization, from private business to even schools to governments. It increases morals and motivations of the employees. Sharing of ideas, but usually when there is too much consultation goes on, participation goes on, there is a chance that there would be a delay in decision making, and so does it happen in democratic leadership style. Now let's see, what is this laissez-faire leadership style. But first of all, I'll let you know what does this word laissez-faire means. Actually, laissez-faire means the policy of leaving things to take their own course without interfering. So, policy of non-interference. When we look at its definition, laissez-faire or free rein leadership style has minimal direct input into the work of employees. एम्प्लॉयज़ के कामों में बहुत ज़्यादा मदाखलत गाइडेंस नहीं देनी. The leaders set objectives and employees must meet it. Decision making takes some time in it. It is also called as delegative style, where leaders are hands off and allow their subordinates to make decisions. Leaders are non-authoritative and give least possible guidance to their subordinates and try to achieve control through less obvious means, जैसे कि मैंने ऊपर आपको बताया. अब वजह क्या है? Leaders believe that subordinates excel when they are left alone to respond to their responsibilities and obligation in their own way. अगर उन्हें खुद काम करने दिया जाए, they do better. So, what are the characteristics of this laissez-faire leadership style? I mean, we have gone through 4 or 5 things in the definition. The very first one, very little guidance from the leaders. There is a complete freedom to all employees to make as much decisions as they can. Leaders provide all tools and resources. Making decision is very much conditional with provision of resources and tools from the part of leaders. Group members are then expected to solve the problems at their own level. So crux is powers given in the hands of employees. This leadership or laissez-faire sort of leadership has certain advantages. When staff feel empowered, when you give too much authority, too much decision making power, I mean, it not only inculcates in them the leadership, but uh, the base of which is that they were empowered and meaningful. And employees believe they have been or they have a say in the decision making and one workplace efficiency. By encouraging employees' feedback and ideas, management often develops a much better understanding of their staff, workplace conditions, and enjoys fresh new ideas and suggestions. But we have got certain disadvantages of this laissez-faire leadership style as well. If employees receive too much responsibility without management guidance, the decision making duty can become overwhelmingly. Meaning, thereby, there are many people who are not a type of person making their own decisions. So, it is really difficult for them. This leads to lower performance turnover. Sometimes customer dissatisfaction and decreased profitability is the end product of laissez-faire. Some of the most common examples of this participative leadership style, especially the laissez-faire or democratic, are some of the outstanding organizations like Bill Gates, Microsoft, and Steve Jobs, Apple, and many more, who believe that decision making should be devolved to the people who are working under you. You, as an leader, you are supposed to provide all sorts of tools and resources and then let the people decide themselves how to bring those objectives that you have set for them. Levin's leadership style. This is the oldest of the situational models. Kurt Levin, a psychologist, led a research team in 1939 and identified what he called three styles of leadership behaviors in an article of Journal of Social Psychology. Uh, these leadership styles were: leader dictated everything, leader allowed group input, and leaders let group do as they please. So the study actually established three leadership styles. One is authoritarian, which is called as autocratic as well, where leaders maybe they listen to many people, but they do what they have in their mind. Participative leadership, which is democratic in nature as well, and delegative leadership style, which is laissez-faire. Okay, students, let's get over some of the key concepts of those three leadership styles given by Kurt Lewin. The very first one was authoritarian. Authoritarian leaders direct and control all activities without meaningful participation by other members of the team. He would listen, but he would do whatever he wants to do. Second is participative, where leaders encourage group members to participate but retain the final say over the decision making process. Last but not the least is the delegative or laissez-faire, where little guidance is provided by the leaders, but they do provide all sorts of tools and resources and let the people or subordinates decide by themselves the strategy to accomplish the given task. So, dear student, before you go ahead, I would request you to listen to this 1.5 minutes video of the YouTube. I have provided you the link. You just have to get over it to see how in 1939 psychologist Kurt Lewin led a study that identified three core styles of leadership and outlined the effect that each style had on team members. Likkert's leadership styles. My student of the research would be thinking whether this is the same guy who gave Likert scale. Yes, this is the same guy. Francis Likert identified four main styles of leadership, in particular around decision making and the degree of which people are involved in the decision. The very first one was exploitative, the second was benevolent, third consultative, and fourth participative. This is a classic 1960s view in that it is still very largely top down in nature, with the cautions adding collaborative elements towards the utopian final stage, which is the last one. Likkert's management system are management styles developed by Francis Lickert in 1960. The management systems established by Lickert include, you can see, exploitative, authoritative, where leaders has little trust or confidence in his subordinates, so they would just go for more than authoritarian. Benevolent authoritarian, leaders has some trust in his workers, maybe he would listen to some of them, but treats them in a condescending and paternalistic manner, meaning thereby always using his authority or directing the people. Then the consultative leaders show trust and confidence towards subordinates but retains decision making power. Last, participative leaders trust his or her subordinates completely, seeks and acts on their ideas and involve them in setting goals. So here is another video on the YouTube. I have provided you the link. This is not more than 4.5 minutes. Get over it to see how Francis Likert, who is famous for his Likert scale, was also a proponent of the management theory. So now the time for task. As written on this slide, you just have to do it after the class and you can send it either tonight or tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening me patiently. You can write down your questions and I'll be answering you. Thank you very much again.